Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the finest Dawn of War Soulstorm casts this side of East Yorkshire, and today over 1 versus 1 on Quest's Triumph. Over in the Ork corner we have got Fiesta, and over in the Tower corner we have Mannenbrough. Mannenbrough is going to go for an Aircast builder, double stealth suit teams, jetpacks and a Tower barracks, whereas the Ork player is going to go for double sluggers, a grot squad, boys hut and a generator. So Orks don't really have much in the way of infiltration detection earlier on in the game, so these stealth suits will be a bit of a pain to deal with. I mean, what, you've only got the big mech really that can see them. So, but thankfully the stealth suits don't do all that much in the way of DPS, so it's not going to be a major problem for them, just maybe a minor nuisance with the whole strategic point capturing and whatnot. We do see some fire warriors and a Tau commander coming out as well. Shooter boys going to be built in response. Well, mind you, I imagine that against the Tau, sometimes against, say, for example, like Eldar or Space Marines, Orks like to get a lot of shooter boys. I don't know if against the Tau, with all the fire warriors that they can bring out onto the field, I don't know if a massive shooter boys will work this time. I think maybe early tech into tier 2, or tier 1.5, shall we say, for the Orks, and get some, maybe some storm boys on the go, or maybe use that big mech's teleporter. Get some slugger boys in there. Everyone just capturing the points at the moment. This stealth suit did try and have a little sniff at this strategic point, but these Orks did manage to get there a little bit quicker. Not going for their natural relic. They do take a while to capture these points, so the Ork player is probably just trying to get as many things capped as humanly possible, as early as possible. Fire warrior team, wonderful colour scheme by the by. Yellow and green, never to be seen. That's what the fashion people say. I think so anyway. My sister, we went clothes shopping one time, and I found this jumper that was really, really nice. She was like, no, you can't get that, it's yellow and green. But I bought it anyway, because ugly jumpers are a vibe. Anyway, fire warriors are moving in. They will see the shooter boys almost taking down one model. These guys are going to fall back within the light cover. Slugger boys trying to capture this strategic point by ignoring them. Grots tanking a bit of damage. Big mech teleporting in, going to punch this Tower commander in the face. Grots being absolute heroes, moving in, going to tie up these fire warriors, preventing them from firing. And to be honest, Grots do half as much damage in melee as fire warriors do, so it's not a terrible idea to move these Grots into close combat with these guys. Slugger boys having their chances of capturing the strategic point falling foul. This big mech will move in and see them. Taking down one model. Stealth suit's going to jump away, narrowly avoiding a squad wipe right there. Orks moving down to this side of the map as well, will be capturing this strategic point.
Keep firing, keep firing.
Big mech moving forward, being the spear point of this assault. Grots again being heroes, letting the shooter boys do their business from a distance. But the Grots, once outside of close combat, aren't going to be doing all that well. Will turn their attention towards this listing post. Bit of a misclick there, accidentally standing still for a little bit longer than they probably originally anticipated. Slugger boys getting their numbers back. Don't think that the big mech's got any jumping juice in him at the moment though. So we'll have to play a bit defensive for now before I can jump back in. Second squad of fire warriors. This is going to be a difficult fire line for the Orks to deal with. They can only really tie up 1 or 2 guys at a time, and only one of them needs to stay firing for them to do any real proper damage. Double war banners up. 92 and 10 for the Orks, 74 and 10 for the Tau. Blue money advantage for the Orks, but then again they will lose this listing post at some point soon. Tau are also going to capture this relic over here, so it looks like that the Tau are going to capture the top half of the map and Orks with the bottom. I do think that this is the not remastered version of this map. In the remastered version of the map, there is an opening here so you can push out this way and that way. But I do believe that this is the original version of the map, so all this side is the natural Tau side, all this is the natural Ork side.
Mission accomplished.
Although then again, that does how would I say it? It is advantageous for the Tau that it's the original side of the map, because with all their stealth suits, give them some fusion blasters after your Path of Enlightenment, jump over this side, harass all these vulnerable listing posts round the back. Tau moving forward. Orks were trying to capture that critical location in the middle. but will be pushed back by the impressive firepower of the Tau and the Tau commander.
Point us at our targets.
Now putting a listening post on that relic. What's the Orc player going to be doing? Going for his pile of guns, going for heavy boy armor, going for Storm Boys. There we go. That's exactly what I want to see. Ah, already a squad of Storm Boys and a big mech just teleporting straight into the base. You can have as pretty a firing line as you want, but if people just circumvent the firing line, then you can't really do all that much about it. Listening post over here will be upgraded with some shooty bits, and to be honest, when you've got a natural barrier like this on a map like this, you tend to forget to upgrade your listening post around the back, because, I mean, they don't normally get assaulted, do they? So you wouldn't really focus on it too much. Fire Warriors over here are going to have a really bad time. Been engaged in close combat by these Storm Boys, fired away by the Shooter Boys as well. Path of Enlightenment being built away from the main stay of combat. We'll just turn around, avoiding this Path of Enlightenment. Get it down to half health there, but not quite getting a listing post down there. But have we got triple at the moment? Oh no, still just two Storm Boys. But I like it. So every time there's like a path of resistance, listing post getting upgraded and stuff, Storm Boys decide not to stay around and get shot at. They just move to whatever is the most vulnerable part of the map and then start tugging away at that, forcing the Tau player to be reactive, not being able to set up his own defences and all that jazz. So wonderful manoeuvring from the Orc player here. Fire Warriors, though, do manage to catch up to them eventually, and very, very quickly they do start bringing down the Orcs' health, but they do get one listening post down. But I mean, the economy of the Tau is quite stonky at the moment. I mean, lacking in green money at the moment, a little bit, but in this early stage of the game, blue money is king. Orcs losing a couple of the number. That was, what, 1, 2, 3... Oh, sorry, oh, just 1, 2... Oh, these are Slugger Boys, never mind. Although, mind you, I don't have all corpses turned on, so maybe these two slices of meat are the chunky remains of the Storm Boys. What kind of tier are we on at the moment? Orcs about to hit their tier 2. Tau just hitting their tier 2 at that moment. Plasma generators being popped down. So they are now going to transition into a more greener economy, are these Tau. Storm Boys looking hungrily at this listing post over here. Still not upgraded, although one Tau Fire Warrior squad has been left over at this side. Big mech being respawned, so he must have died somewhere in that initial engagement over yonder. Orcs now trying to capture this critical location in the middle. There was a... what was it? A timer going on, but can't quite remember who that was for. That was going on in the middle of all the action and stuff, so didn't really have time to make a note of it. Slugger Boys over here once again trying to capture this critical location in the middle. Will almost... ah, have they got it? They have got it by the dying breath of this Orc Slugger Boy squad. They do manage to get it. Although whether that was a worthy trade, we shall find out. Some knobs on the field now. And some tougher bosses research going in as well. So definitely a unit that the Tau will have to be very wary of. Especially when those war trucks get online. And the only real way that the Tau will be able to combat that is with... oh gosh, what would they get? They'd get, is it a Devilfish troop carrier? The invisible one. But even then, though, it's not the most mobile of troop carriers. And it is probably, I do believe it's the most fragile of troop carriers. So, I don't know, maybe one of those aircast fire flying units. I don't really know the Tau units all that well, to be fair. It's not often that I get to cast Tau games that end up with serious tier 2, tier 3 mischief. It's normally crew, Tau, maybe 2 Tau Fire Warriors, maybe a Vespid, and then they usually tend to die early to mid tier 2. You don't really see them all that much. Lots of invisible Tau. Let's have a look at what they've got at the moment. They have gone for their fusion blasters, so they will be able to use their impressive mobility to bash some of the Orc infrastructure. Pushing the Snob Squad back a little bit. With this Tau commander going for his missile launchers. Tank busters coming out in anticipation for any Tau vehicles. We do have a vehicle beacon going down over here. Pathfinder team on the field will help the Fire Warriors with their increased line of sight. Tau Fire Warriors are able to fire past their line of sight, but obviously they need some vision to be able to enable that to be any kind of use. Knobs over here slowly but surely been whittled down by the Tau commander. Orks don't seem like they want to engage. Not engaging with that because they're currently focusing on this listing post over here. Orks going to be bashing this, using their grenades well by the looks of things. Oh no, not grenades, there was some... what do you call them? Those tank busters in there. Going to finish off that listing post. Although these Storm Boys might want to, there we go, move out of range of those guys.
Until taking hold victory.
Mannenbrough with the taking hold victory on the go. Orks over here, a little bit out of position. Not entirely sure what their shtick is at the moment. I do believe that it's just Fiesta trying to multitask at the moment. It is a very difficult thing to, one, do your macro at the base, one, do your micro with these lads, and then do like a, what would we say, like a macro combat where you attack move in one direction while microing with another one. It is a very difficult skill to get down, to be fair. There we go, Devilfish transport on the way. Orks going to go for a second one as well. Like we said earlier on in the game, Orks do struggle a little bit with infiltrated units. At the moment, the only real infiltration detection that they've got is this big mech over here. Unless they get a war boss. Oh no, they've got a Mega Armor Knob, so you don't, again, you don't normally see this guy. It's very expensive for what he is, but I think the additional infiltration detection is probably what the Orks are desperate for. Especially with the potential for all those stealth suits. Although, mind you, this guy did not benefit from it one iota. Got shot down as he swanned over this big mech. The big mech with his very keen eyes saw him. You see a snare trap near this critical location. The Orks will have to move in and take that at some point in the next 4.5 minutes if they want to survive for any longer. Lots of war banners here. Orks are in their tier 3 by the looks of things. We do have a Kion command post as well. So Tau are heading up for their tier 3. All goes relatively quiet at the moment. The Orks do not want to push in to capture that critical location too early. If they commit too little of their force and lose too much of them, then, well, it just won't be a good time for them, will it? Double Storm Boys charging in. Tau have anticipated this. There is a lot of firepower for them to deal with. Orks going to jump over this side, going to see if there's anything else that they can bash. Big Knobs teleporting in, will spot this Devilfish troop carrier while it's going on. Big Ork push going on this side. Knobs, Slugger Boys and Shooter Boys, as well as the Mega Armored Knob. These Orks over here not deciding to try and bash these Fire Warriors, will decide to turn around and decide to bash all these listing posts around the backside. Upgraded level 2 listing post does go down by the Storm Boys. This one, unupgraded, will go down by the Knobs as well. Over on this side, Mega Armored Knobs using their sparky bits to make themselves move a bit faster. Knobs over here going to bash around this listing post over here. And this is quite a sizable takedown of the Tau economy here. I mean, after this, what, they've got 1, 1, 2.
3 minutes.
The what Orks 140. So did manage to do a significant dent to the Tau economy. And the Tau are a little bit spread out at the moment. They haven't committed to dealing with one flank or the other. Although they have pushed this lot back out. Big mech with his Knobs trying to move over on this side. Will be slowed down by a snare by the looks of things. Being shot around by the fusion blasters of these stealth suits. Will teleport over onto this side. We have another Devilfish troop carrier coming down. Did seem like all the Tau warriors over here got taken down. Stormtroopers being spotted by the Pathfinder's target acquired ability will increase the amount of damage that they take from ranged attacks. Devilfish troop carrier over on the left flank, depositing 2 Fire Warrior squads. And the Orks seem to have pushed a little bit too far, bitten off a bit more that they could chew. They've done their damage, it's now time to go home, I think. Did manage to decap this critical location down here, losing a fair few in their number by the looks of things. And the Orks have been pushed back, but they have done quite the amount of damage on these listening posts. I've got a lot of green money left over to play with as well if they want to tech into any... what would you call it? Vehicles, that's the word. Stormboy's not giving up there. We'll see if they can continue the pressure. Stealth suit team over here. One singular lad will try and dissuade them. These Stormboy knobs, well, all knobs in general now do have their power claw, which will increase their ability to destroy buildings and whatnot. More troop carriers coming in. Do have stealth suits on into the Ork base, but this is quite a lot of war banners for them to deal with. And I do believe that the war banners can detect infiltrated units. Maybe, potentially, I can't quite remember. There is something that can see them at the very least anyway. Mech shop being built up on the southern flank. Tank busters skulking about. So yeah, the tower have managed to defend their own. Barracuda, that was the name of the flying unit. Fire team using their advanced ranged capabilities to fire away into the Ork base. They don't need to jump over anything. It's a fair amount of damage, to be fair. The Orks will need to respond to this. They don't want to lose their literal settlement. They have gone for their next tier. You can tell by the little tent being popped up over the top of it. Mad Doc coming out will help keep the Orks alive and well, especially with their fighting juice. Flash gets coming out as well. Barracuda's ideal for taking out buildings. Orks losing their tech now. Big Mech seeing if he can have a little bit of a sneaky look. Thankfully, that explosive rocket from the tower commander did manage to save him, until he then moves straight back into where he was and dies, which is very unfortunate. So, Orks have lost 2 war banners over here, lost 1 listening post as well. Orks don't want to quite commit. That is a lot of ranged fire for them to deal with. And for all these snare traps as well, Orks will walk up slowly over to these guys, get shot by all these fire warriors, and the moment they get into close combat, all jump into this Devilfish troop carrier, move back over here, get stuck in these snare traps, and then... well, and then get shot some more, which is not what they want. Fighter bomber on the way. And with his wonderful little grot-propelled rocket, ideal against infantry. It's such a slow rocket as well. I love it. It's great. Just a sheer area of effect that it brings to bear, which is great against these Tau because obviously they've got to stand still for a brief moment before they can fire again. But this double Barracuda, they will need to have some sort of response to it. They do have some tank busters over on this side. Will do a significant amount of damage when the rockets hit. Remember that the accuracy for these tank busters isn't perfect. 1 Barracuda being taken down. War banner's not being rebuilt there. Nob squad over here will be seen by these mega nobs. Or well, stealth suit team will be seen by the mega nobs. Big Mech teleporting in. Going to engage in close combat with these fire warriors. Fire warriors are in the middle of nowhere. They are a bit alone in this world. Devilfish troop carrier moving to the northern side of these snare traps. These guys will fire from a distance. Fine juice going off on these flash gates. Will keep them alive for a little while. Although these flash gates don't quite have that luxury. The flash gates are not the tankiest of lads. That is why you normally see the Mad Docs going on them, just to keep them alive. They're very expensive. At 70 blue money and 20 green money, as well as 2 Ork pop. War Boss now out on the field. Will just charge in and absolutely cave in the faces of these Devilfish troop carriers. Now getting into nice and close with these lads. Will show them what a green menace he can be. Listening post over here, tier 3, will be slowly but surely slapped around by these Nob squads. Flashgate's now been able to have a little bit of firing room. We'll try and focus down this vehicle beacon. Won't stop before a Barracuda comes out. Another Barracuda looks like it's going to go on its way. Warboss being absolutely decimated by the combined arms of these Fire Warriors and Tau Commander. These guys turning around, focusing on this listening post over here. Looks like it's going to be a slow march from one side to the other for these Orks. Going to really focus on using these flash kits to their advantage.
5 minutes.
Flash kits do a lot of damage in the grand scheme of things. Definitely more than the Fire Warrior teams, but Fire Warriors do have the range, the accuracy. Varial now out on the field will have his Fire Warrior bodyguards as well. Provides a general buff around to the fire, well, to all Tau and whatnot. All Tau gain health, morale, and bonus damage while the Ethereal is alive. And also has access to a big blue explosion. If you can get close enough, to be honest. Mad Doc moving in. Does look like he might go for Birder Bomb. If he can get it, I hope he does. Does manage to get one down. Although Tau will focus it down, forcing it to blow up prematurely. Does seem like the big mech, the flash kits have been killed in the long-range combat. Fighter bombers moving in, but they are not going to really do all that much when the Barracudas come out once again.
4 minutes.
Does look like the
Victory.
Orks don't really have much of an answer, especially with these being assaulted from two fronts. Yeah, if this critical mass of Fire Warriors coming in, not much really that the Orc player can do. Maybe some war trucks would have been the answer. Yeah, get some war trucks, stick your knobs in there. You'll pardon the rude sounding structure of that sentence. Orc player, what's he going to go for? He's got a bit of a blue flirt, a bit of a green flirt. Doesn't seem to be investing much in what he's going for next. Is he going for anything in the mech shop? No, not quite. Oh, it is just a delayed surrender. Okay, fair enough. But I mean, it was a good shout, a nice push towards that later game. But like I say, I think maybe some war trucks would have been advantageous. Fighter bombers, very good idea. Like I said, does blow them up and knock them around. But yeah, maybe some war trucks in the mix might have been the way forward. Anyway, mine's been Mr. Landshark. Please always never chart, and I'll see you in a bit. Peace.